Hi again. My name is Sig Taves, and we're doing a series called Light for the Journey. And today's topic is God gets the credit, or God gets the glory. And the story is going to be about Beijing and the missing suitcase. So who gets the credit? That's the question. Who gets the glory? When you're walking on this journey from here to heaven, who do you give the glory? Do you thank God for what's happening on a daily basis? So on a personal note, my grandson, Luke, he's a phenomenal soccer player. He likes to run and score goals. So I made him a deal. I said, Luke, if you score a goal, I'll give you $1. Wow. And if you do an assist, I'll give you $2. He pondered that one. He said, Grandpa, goals are more important. I said, no, to me, assists are more important. Oh. I said, you do a hat trick of goals, I'll give you $20. You give me a hat trick of assists, I'll give you $50. Hat trick, yeah. Wow, that's a lot of money. I said, yeah, it's worth it for me. If you do assists, you're going to understand where you're going to be watching people on this field, and you're going to be passing the ball. Whereas if you're just scoring goals, it's me. Pass to me. It's about you and I. The journey in life is about others, helping others. When you focus on yourself, you miss the whole point. You puff yourself up, you make yourself look really great, you start to believe that you're fantastic. Whereas if you're humble and you're a servant, you're watching others. You put a towel on your hand and you're a servant. You help others. So on this journey, when you're helping others, it's a lot simpler. It's a lot more fun. But if it's all about you, Jesus tells the story in Luke chapter 12 about this farmer who had this phenomenal bumper crop. So he built all new barns to store the grain. And he said, I will store my crops and my goods, and I will say to my soul, eat, drink, and be merry. You know, we've done this. We say, oh, if we only had won the lottery. It's wrong to buy lottery tickets, in my opinion. Anyway, if I'd only won the lottery, I could have all these things. And God says, no, but I actually want you to walk and pray about everything. I want you to struggle with me as we walk on this path. But this guy didn't. He was going to eat and drink and be merry. And God said, you fool, this night your soul, he didn't say life. Jesus says, your soul will be required of you. Matthew 10:28, Jesus says another topic. He says, do not fear those who kill the body and cannot kill the soul, but fear him, that's God, who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. So you have God who is able to destroy both your black box, your soul, and your body in hell, versus Satan who can only destroy your body. So these are the things. Do not fear him, but fear him who is able to destroy both body and soul. Then Jesus teaches in Matthew chapter 6, you have these 3 items: giving away charitable deeds, prayer, and fasting. We talked about fasting the other day. So these 3 things, you're not supposed to do them publicly. He says you're supposed to do them in secret so that God, who sees in secret, will give you not give you the glory, but will bless you for what you've done, rather than the public. So the charitable deeds, it says when you do a charitable deed, do not sound your trumpet, like the hypocrites do. Okay, so it's not about sounding trumpet. It's saying, oh, look what my money has done. And we have this all over the place where people put their names on building, all kinds of stuff. I did this. And people miss that God gave you the money. You're only a steward of the money. You're not actually the originator of the money, but you're supposed to pass it on and help others. So 1 John calls this the lust of the flesh, and we'll talk about that a little later on. Prayer is the second one. Prayer. It's my symbol for prayer is the 2 hands folded, and in my Bible on the margins are these little. So anything that has done with prayer has this little symbol. So when you pray, go into your room and shut the door. Why? So that you can talk to the boss, your boss, in private. Don't do it in a public forum where everybody, all the laundry is spilled out. Talk to him privately, ask him your questions, and he who sees in secret will reward you openly. So it's the lust of the eyes. People are watching, oh yeah, and you make your long-winded prayers. Are you a servant? Or are you the boss? You're the servant. Do it quietly. Fasting is another one. You fast so that everybody knows, I'm fasting today. And they used to put on sackcloth and ashes and walk around, I'm fasting today. And God says, but when you fast, anoint your head with oil. Shave your, he didn't say anything about a beard, but he said, wash your face. And do not appear that you are fasting. And your Father who is in the secret place will reward you openly. Again, you want to be so proud of what you're doing, but you're supposed to be an ambassador of Jesus Christ. So as you're walking this journey, you're supposed to be an ambassador. You're supposed to wear the hat that doesn't have New York Yankees on it, but has Jesus Christ. You're the ambassador. Can I talk to you? So it's that kind of attitude that you're supposed to project. Let me tell you a story. It's personal, like always, where I saw God at work. The era is 1985. I have an office. I have an architectural office, and we have about 15 employees. We're doing work in Canada, but we're doing projects in China. We were actually doing 5 hotels in the city of Guilin. Guilin is like Banff. It's a beautiful place. It has a Lee River, a very shallow river where you go down, and the mountains are spectacular. The tour boats give you phenomenal food, and the vistas, I mean, it's one on your bucket list if you're going to China. You go to Xi'an for the soldiers, and you go to the Great Wall, and you go to Beijing for the Forbidden City, stuff like that. But Guilin is on your list. It is beautiful. So the story comes like this. I had a client who had come to Canada from Germany. He's Chinese from Indonesia. His dad had sent him to Berlin to study, and instead he was a bit of a orangutan and decided, studies aren't for me. He started buying hotels, old hotels, and more and more and more. He was the largest slum landlord in Berlin. Anton was his name. In 1984, he realized that the pressure was getting hot. People didn't like him. He was the slum landlord, and he was getting a lot of heat. So he decided to take his money to Canada. So at a restaurant, he was eating in a fantastic restaurant, and one of my employees, Jolly, I've talked to him about him before, was sitting at a next table, and they were talking, and Jolly says, my boss, Sig, is German. He can speak German. Well, and you say you can speak German. You're from Berlin. Well, come and meet him. And so we met and we talked. And Anton says, I'd love to do some work with you in Richmond. So we were doing a large project, and like I always do, I work through the cash flow and the costs. And suddenly he realized it was only like a 2% return. He said, why am I doing a project, spending all this in a 2% return? I could just buy land. I said, yeah. I could put my money in the bank and earn more. I said, yes. Yeah, I said, sorry. I said, you just talked yourself out of a job, he said. Well, I said, I know, but my clients need to be happy. So a month later, he walks in the office. He said, we're going to go to China. I said, what? We're not going to China? Yeah, we're going to China. My godfather is head of overseas Chinese in Beijing. He's a top dog. And he's invited us to Guilin. We're going to do some hotels. I said, no, we're not going. He said, yeah, we're going to go. It's good money. We're going to have a fantastic time. I'll pay all the costs. We're going to have a great time. Come. Well, yeah, a month later, I was flying. And the routine was Hong Kong, China for 6 weeks, and back in Vancouver for 6 weeks to... my family wasn't happy, but that's just how it was. There was no work in Vancouver during 1985, 1986. The Expo, we had Expo in 1986, and all the projects had been built, and so there was now this time for party and no real work. I do developer work, so developers were just slowing down at that point. So I'm off to China. One of my employees, Eric, his sister was head of the Hong Kong airport for Cathay Pacific. So, of course, we would fly Cathay Pacific. And as soon as my name came up on the register, she would bump us up to a business class seat. Well, if you've flown 14 hours to Hong Kong in economy, there is nothing like sitting in business class. It's luxury. I mean, you sit back and everything. You want orange juice? It's there. Freshly squeezed. If you want this, it's there. If you want a cookie, it's there. If you want a magazine, it's there. I understand first class is better, but business class was luxury for me. And so I'm in my seat relaxing, and I look over at the guy beside me across the row, and he's ordering drinks. Well, yeah, drinks are free in business class, but he's ordering them, and he's putting them in his briefcase. Going, you're ordering a drink, and then he puts the glasses. They come in a nice glass, stemware. He puts that in. He puts chocolates in. I'm going, there's something wrong here. Like, why would you do this? Kind of silly. Because the whole flight, you can order whatever you want. I don't drink alcohol, right? So I'm not drinking, but I'm just looking over and chuckling. It's kind of silly, kind of stupid. Then I hear this voice, a tap on the shoulder. Sig. Yeah? Sig. No souvenirs. What? You mean like that guy? Yeah, no souvenirs. Well, okay, but I usually took a napkin or something. I use it as, when you have a Bible or something, you put it as a bookmark. You've been there, right? You've been on a flight. You sort of, no souvenirs. Okay, if that's what you want, I'm listening. So I carry 3 bags. One is a big black suitcase with all my files. This is before computers, so everything is a file stacked in a row. So my hand is on it because it's all you have. My second one is a small little carry-on. We didn't have all these roller stuff that we have now, but it was a carry-on, and in it was my toothpaste, my Bible, pens, papers, things that I would use, like a book I was reading on the aircraft, whatever. And then the third bag is your big fat, it was a big fat brown suitcase, rather old, because when it's old, nobody takes it. If it's new, they all want it. And full of all your clothing, your suit, your shirts for the 6 weeks that you're gone. Okay, so I'm flying, and it's not a problem. I arrive in Hong Kong, and there's my client, Anton. What are you doing here? You were supposed to be around. Well, I'd heard you're going to Beijing, so I want to join you. I can get more things done when we're speaking in German. Yeah, I said, okay, with you around, things are going to get done, gladly. But do I have to go? Yes, you need to come. Okay. And wear a suit. Why? Because right off when we get off the plane, there's going to be a delegation of people, and they're going to wine and dine us and look after us like crazy, banquets, all this stuff. Yes, I know the routine. Okay. We didn't wine and dine. I don't drink, right? So, but they would all have their stuff on. That's not the part of the story, but the delegation was going to be there, and these were Beijing officials, not just sort of other kind of people. Okay. So I packed my stuff. I got my bags for my briefcase, my files, and my backpack with my Bible in it. And I looked at this is a great Bible I had. I had a brand new Bible. It was leather cover like this one, and my name was embossed on the bottom. Wow, in gold. Ruth had given it to me as my birthday gift. I was tickled pink. And it had wide margins to write on. It had all kinds of room. And it's going to be a delight. But I had circled in 2 verses. I had gone, and I like to highlight, and I like to put the words into here, but my 2 favorite verses were from Psalm 119. Psalm 119:5 is like this. Your word have I hidden in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Your word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against you. You know this verse. And the second one you know as well. Your word is a lamp unto my feet. You're on the journey. You're a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. A light unto my path. Okay, so they were highlighted, and as I said, I was using crayons. I don't use these bleed through. I use crayons because you can immediately close your Bible or whatever. It was highlighted. So I had this. So I'm catching the flight with Anton. We're flying to Beijing from Hong Kong. And as we get out of the aircraft in Beijing, I'm standing around waiting because I'm the servant, right? And he says, you're going to go in the second car. Great. I said, good. All the big shots are in the first car. Yeah. So I don't mind. I'm just along anyway. I don't know this language. I don't know who's who. I don't know what. And so I get in and suddenly tap on the window. Yeah, get out. Okay, what's wrong? You're going to go in the first car. Okay, I went in the first car. And a bit mixed up on stuff. But I knew I had my bags, but I made sure that I had my file case with me. I just said, I need to take that and put that in this car. They shuffled some things around. And so I had it in the first car. Anyway, not to make enough noise, I didn't bring my second one. But when we got to the hotel where we were going to have this dinner and banquet, my second bag was missing. No one knew where it went. Did it not get put in? We don't know. It disappeared. Then I realized it has my Bible. my gift from Ruth is missing. Oh, what am I going to do? And then it hit me. All the way on that flight, it said no souvenirs. Keep it clean. Like the guy, not like the guy beside me. Okay, I understood that. And I had repacked to make sure there was nothing in his backpack. It was my Bible, toothpaste, and runners, and a couple of old shirts, because I was wearing the suit. I was wearing everything officially that I had to have. If it would have been the other way around, anyway. But my Bible. So I chuckled now, because my Bible, God had an assignment. Someone had prayed. Like when we talked about Maharashtra Mission, when Lillian Dirksen prayed for a piece of property, God gave her a rock. She wasn't undaunted that it was a rock. She had to plant trees around the property, and she did. She dug holes, put in dirt, and planted trees. So I said, well, what are you going to do about water? Because they're not giving you any water. Well, God will provide. Have you tried? No, I haven't tried, but God will. She was absolutely sure. She wasn't, it's a piece of rock, but God, who gives you a gift, doesn't give you a dud. Oh, I said. So she prayed and prayed about the water, and they dug down. They chipped. It's rock, right? They're chipping down. At 35 feet of chipping, they found beautiful, clear water. I said, yeah, when Lillian prays, things move. And here someone prayed for a Bible, and God said, yeah, I got just the perfect one for you. Why it had to be New King James. I was using New King James at the time. Wide margin, why it had to be embossed. But when I get to heaven, at the end of the trip, I've asked him, I said, can you show me where this Bible has gone? Because it's kind of curious. Why would you spend all this time getting it to Beijing? Can you show me where it went? And I think God will put me in a room with theater, like with sound around and screens, and he'll touch this rock, he'll touch this tree, and it'll start telling me the story of where this Bible went. It'll have gone to a different home. Somebody will have read this chapter, and he'll show me how, and I'll be floored at how his word doesn't come back void. And I'm going, you had a plan. Yeah, I had a plan. Sorry I had to use your Bible, but you could get it. You can buy another one. I said, yeah. And I do have Bibles. I mean, that wasn't an issue of me getting a Bible. It's just that I was treasuring this one. It was going to be mine. Anyway, God has an assignment for us. And that job assignment, you can't retire from. It's something you can't say, well, I'm out of a job. Your job is to be a witness. Whether you're a plumber, electrician, architect, preacher, or whatever, your job is to be a witness. And if necessary, use words. Your purpose is to save souls, to let them see what you are and say, can I have some of this? Can I? And then invite you along on the trip. And lastly, your meaning in life, the whole meaning is to glorify God with your charitable deeds, your possessions, with your prayer life, and with your fasting, which is the warfare. You're supposed to honor God. And when you do that, He'll help you out. He says, God who sees in secret will guide you. So then you have this guide on this trip, and he'll make sure that you get through all the little loopholes and all the corners, all the signposts, you'll see them, and he'll take you through. Because this isn't our home. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and, I just don't feel at home in this world anymore. So let's conclude. Oh, come. Let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, the sheep of his hand. Amen. See you next Tuesday. God bless.